right, good afternoon, Wood and Hands. This is Catherine Taylor with Revival Web Design. I had sent over a Facebook message, so here's your free video. What we're going to discuss, or I should say, what I'm going to go over with you in the video is going to be 3 areas of focus that will and can bring more foot traffic organically through your online presence. So, first, I love your design for your logo. Super cool, very clean, um, and it's a very neat looking design. I want to share with you what SEO is. So, the 3 areas of topic we're going to talk about is SEO, Google My Business, and backlinks. Backlinks is going to tie into your website. Your SEO is going to tie into your website. And then the Google My Business is going to be a little bit separate, but also will tie into your website. So everything's a little bit about your website today. Why it's important to understand this is gotta understand Google's algorithms in order to figure out what should be on your website. Okay, first and foremost, I think your pictures on here are super cool. Love the idea of the epoxy countertops. Love the idea of wood custom or custom wood furniture. All of this is really neat. If we designed your website around this really super cool niche that you found for yourself, then you could actually lead into a lot of organic traffic. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. Okay. So, first and foremost, what Google is looking for on your website is at least 1,500 to 2,000 words of content. And why it's important is that's how Google runs their algorithms. And they actually just recently changed them up within the last couple of months. So that amount of information sounds overwhelming, but keep in mind, as much as our websites are designed around what we want to present to people, we also have to keep in mind why they're online. And they're online because we're trying to get people, when they go into Google and they type in a certain search for services, we want our website to be found. So our websites, not only are they a reflection of us, but they're also just simply put for Google. We want people to find our websites based off the needs that they're looking for. And that has a lot to do with content. So while you're putting content into a website, the other thing that you have to keep in mind are what we call those keyword searches. So I did actually a couple for you, and I'll show them in a second. But when I go into Google and I type in epoxy countertops, and I did Brandon, Florida, mainly because it's a larger location outside of us in Riverview. I am in Riverview, so it's just north of us. But what happens when I put in Brandon versus Riverview? Because let me show you actually Riverview first. Sorry about this. I want to let you know. I'm going to jump ahead a bit. But I put in epoxy countertops Riverview, Florida. And you actually do come up. Your Facebook page does. Outside of Riverview, though, you're not being found. So if someone is in Tampa, if they're in or Brandon, if they're north of Tampa in the Carrollwood area, if they're out in St. Pete or they're in Clearwater and you're looking for epoxy countertops, you want to be found in all of those areas. So if I go into Brandon, Florida for epoxy countertops, usually when you hit the enter button, this turns into keywords. Okay. So anything that we search within Google is keywords. If you scroll down to the bottom and you do related searches, these are all going to be keywords. Okay. And why it's important to understand how the layout is going to be where the organic traffic goes. So if a company is out there placing ads for epoxy countertops within Brandon, Florida, that's the first thing's going to pop up. So if you ever see ads in a search, it's because someone's advertising for that specific service in that location. So you would see ads up first. Ads generally account for about 20% of the people looking for a search. Okay, so 20% is gone if we're not doing any type of ads. The next thing that you find is going to be the Google My Business or Google Map Pack in the middle. And these are all companies that advertise for these services and have done the Google My Business information. That is a service that we provide. Part of the reason you want to be in the Google My Business area is because part of that is a tool that Google uses to verify your company and figure out if it's a reputable business or website. So it's also called a citation. A citation encompasses a business name, phone number, and um, address. And not all of that has to be online. Keep in mind, when you do your Google My Business, it's strictly for Google to know you're in a specific area, but you can omit your actual address for people if like you're working from home, etc. So that people don't know the exact location, but you're trying to encompass a certain area. So that is once again also known as a citation. And why it's important is you want to have as many citations out there that your competition has. And we do have tools in order to look that up and tell you how often it should be out there. Once again, it is a service that we do provide. We look at your competition, see how many citations they have, and then we add those in for you. Okay, so Google My Business. I think I covered all of the important topics on that. The other thing that you like about Google My Business is that's an area where your clientele can put reviews, and that's where you can get, once again, more of a positive reputation for Google, which also, once again, helps your website itself. So here is your website. When I did epoxy countertop search, this one was the first one to pop up, is this Lucky's Countertop. So here's their website. And they do have a contact us, which is really important. It's kind of a call to action if you have that on your website. The other thing they have is they have a lot of a lot more information, a lot of also side service pages. Once again, it has a lot of content on there. That's not solely important. What is important is going to be the back information. I'll show you that in a second. The other thing I did do was a custom wood search. And as you can see, and this isn't necessarily your largest competition, but why it's important is you see how much content is on here. Once again, that leads into Google finding them and putting them in place if someone's looking for custom wood. The other thing that would be important is showing what exactly wood pieces that you do. You do have in here some, but I'd encourage you to list out things that you do or think other designs that you have in place, and show as many pictures as possible. That's going to be helpful for someone, especially in the area, who's looking for custom designs, for them to see what exactly you can do. Okay, so let's look at the last topic. So I covered your on-site and your content on your website that ties into your search engine optimization or SEO. Then we talked about the Google My Business. So now I'm going to show you the background information to your website and why it's important for the first two. So this is Ahrefs is a subscription that I use to do all my research for web pages, and it tells me a lot. We're going to focus on these things up top, so please don't be intimidated when I go through them. There's going to be definitely time for us to chat if you have questions about some of this, to reach out. We can talk about it. But a UR is going to be the strength of your actual website, and the DR stands for domain rating. So this is going to be how popular your website is on Google. Both of these numbers can go to 100. And currently we don't have any data, which leads me to believe that you might just have a newer website. Not a bad thing, but there's definitely a lot of opportunity for you. And I'll show you that in a second based off your competition, okay? The other areas of focus we look at on here are backlinks and referring domains. So backlink is a link from one website to another, and a referring domain is very similar, but referring domain is more high power and highly credible websites that link back to yours. And why it's important to have these two is both of these numbers go up to 100 as well. And what the power that they can pull into your domain rating goes up to 100. You can have as many backlinks and referring domains as possible. But when we talk about SEO services, depending upon the cost of the actual backlinks is what that monthly cost could be. So backlinks can actually go away. There is a cost associated with pushing power to your website. So not all backlinks and referring domains are created equal. It's not about quality or quantity, it's all about quality. So we would put in place quality backlinks to drive power to your website. The other thing we look at is organic keywords. So if I click on this organic keyword, oh, it doesn't bring anything up for your website. Okay. And then organic traffic. So organic keywords would be keywords on your website that you're being found for. And then traffic is how many people are finding your website per month. So all of these numbers are based off of 30 days. Right now, when you clicked on this, it didn't tell me what the keyword was, and we don't really have any traffic going to your website. So let me hop into your competition. So this was Lucky's Countertops. These are their numbers. So they have a 14 on the UR, 16 on the DR, over 600 backlinks, over 70 referring domains. Once again, this is all power that's being driven to their website. These are the two areas of traffic I want you to see. So they're ranking for 920 some keywords, which is bringing over 900 people of traffic to their website. So when we talk about keywords, let me just show you for an example. There's three areas of focus I look at here. And so I'm going to use this one right here, this Epoxy Countertops of Tampa. So volume is how often these particular words are searched. The KD is the keyword difficulty, meaning how difficult it would take to rank your particular website for these keywords, as well as the position. So the position is where you would fall on Google. So they are, this particular website is being found 30 times a month for Epoxy Countertops Tampa, and they're in the #1 position. What this is also telling me, though, is at a 0, and depending upon what location you're looking for, even Orlando, Jacksonville, etc., all of the keyword difficulty on here is incredibly low. So if you're up and running and looking for organic business within the next, I would say, 2 to 3 months, we should be able to get you there just based off of how difficult it is and how often the keywords are searched. Now, keep in mind, let's say you get 30 people looking at your website a month. Your capture ratio is generally about 5 to 8% of closing on those people. So that would be possibly 2 to 3 more jobs coming your way per month organically. So it's all about a numbers game when it comes to your website and organic people finding you, and also what service you have to provide. So at the end of the day, you could actually get a lot of traffic because it would be relatively easy to get your website up and running and being found for a lot of the searches in the area, just in the Tampa area for your particular service. So awesome job on picking a niche. That #1 is super cool, but #2 would be probably pretty easy to get your website up and running with just some couple tweaks being made. But what I do want to lastly give you is my contact information. So you can find me at revivalwebdesign21.com. Also, that's my email address. You can also reach me at 757-846-0186. We are transplants from Virginia, but once again, live in the Riverview area right near you. I did cover 3 topics that can help improve your business. The next step would just be a simple conversation for us to get an idea of what it is that you're looking for, your goals, the vision for your business, and then also talk about what services I cover, how it fits into your budget, and then we would go from there. So once again, all the information is free, deep dives free, proposals are free, and then what we want to do is see how it is that I can help you. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you taking a look at this, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and be in touch. Thanks a lot. Bye.